Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book that's come to us from Denmark, and it's a very important law book which is looking at procurement. The title of the book is Modernising Public Procurement, the New Directive, and it's been edited by a number of people. I hope I pronounced the names correctly. François Lichier, Roberto Caranta and Steen Trumer, and it's been published by DJOF Publishing in Denmark. My wife Elizabeth and I have looked at the book, and I'm going to show you it now, and we've given it the title of the review, The New EU Public Procurement Directive, a step in the right direction for EU trade. The experts have their say. We'll get on to the review in a minute. Let's have a look at the book. It's a paperback. There's the front. It's part of the European Procurement Law series that they publish, the spine. Then there's a short statement at the back which gives you some information of what's actually in the book. This publication is the 6th volume of the European Procurement Law series, written by experts in the field of EU public procurement law. This is the book. There's the front of it there, the new directive. There's a very useful foreword by the editors of the European Procurement Law series, which is listed there. That's the two gentlemen, Roberto and Steen. Then you've got the contents section there. 3 main sets of contents. The list of cases is at the back, not at the front of the book, and then there's a statement about the authors. Then there's an index at the back, which I'll show you. You can see it's a detailed index again, very helpful. Then you've got a lot of case law again at the back. It's done slightly differently from what we're used to perhaps in this country. Then you've got the various articles. Again, there's a lot of detail here, variations in the scope of the public procurement directives. You've got a lot of footnotes there. It's a heavy book to read, but there's a huge amount of information in it. And you can see you've got a lot of framework agreement conditions and rules and various other things. These are framework agreement rules. Then there's a conclusion, quite often at the back of each of the main chapters. And then after that, at the back of each of the chapters, there's a bibliography, which is, again, very helpful. They're not actually numbered as such when you go through the chapters, but you can see the standard structure of the introduction, the detail, and the conclusion. The book runs to 400 pages. As I say, just looking at the list. The actual contents, they are numbered, but individual chapters aren't numbered, so you need to look depending on what you're specifically trying to seek out in the book. Now, this is what we say about it. Tenderers competing for public contracts in the context of European Union law will find their endeavours fraught with legalities of a particular complex kind, a situation not untypical of the complications of European Union law itself. Certain observers of a critical bent would comment that EU law is, quote, unnecessarily overcomplicated and therefore a gift for the critics of the EU. We're going through a general election in the UK when I record this, so emotions are running high about the EU, and you can see again some of the issues that are breaking through the surface. These thoughts certainly come to mind, of course, when one peruses the contents of this book, which, as the title indicates, focuses on the new Public Procurement Directive. To be precise, this is Directive 2014/2014/2/EU, dated the 26th of February 2014. And its aim, one would assume, has been to refine EU procurement law so as to make it more relevant to the needs of 21st century business within the European Union. It claims to fulfil a twofold objective, namely to make the EU rules on public procurement simpler and more flexible. But has this dual objective been achieved? This book, which is a new publication from DJOF Publishing in Denmark, provides at least part of the answer. It's the 6th volume in DGOF's European Procurement Law series, as I have mentioned, and in this English language version it will certainly be of interest to academics and practitioners across the EU. The book presents closely argued analysis by a team of 12 expert contributors, including the 3 editors, of the various changes and reforms wrought by this new legislation. For example, there are new rules on and what are called in-house and public-public partnerships, as well as new award procedures implemented with the aim of fostering innovation and, it is hoped, reducing or hopefully eliminating any possibilities for corruption. So as part of the ongoing debate on efficiency on public spending, one of the contributors, Mario E. Comba, points out that the main objective for public procurement directives should be the prohibition of discrimination, which one might gather evolves from transparency and the elimination of trade barriers, with the end result of encouraging more cross-border trade. Let me conclude by saying that this shortish paperback book is for lawyers and indeed anyone seeking an analysis of the risks and opportunities presented by the new directive with its new procedural rules, and we think they should acquire a copy of the book if that's the area they're involved in. Certainly with its copious footnoting, list of cases and extensive bibliographies, it's a valuable source of information and research for those needing to enhance their understanding of this key development in European Union law. And the publication date is cited at 2014. Just show the book again. It's a paperback, quite light, front, spine, and back. Again, open it up in the middle. You see this is definition of electronic means and rule of communication. There's an awful lot of information here, and it is very detailed. As I've indicated, the bibliography at the back, the selected references, extremely helpful. They're back of each of the main chapters. As I said, they don't actually have chapter numbers, which may be confusing. You'll find the cases at the back. However, I felt that the book, there we go, the bibliography again, a lot of learned detail. People have spent a lot of time going into this subject in a lot of detail. I think the end product, it's a heavy book to read. Don't get away from that. But I think the benefit of it is it's trying to give some form of clarity on where we're going with procurement issues in the EU. Thank you to the editors and to the contributors and to the Danish publishers for this endeavour, which I'm sure will assist everybody in this complicated area. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.